what we do here is go back.
Oh crap. There's a good start to the stream, demonetise straight away. Curse word as soon as you start the stream. Happy days. Anyway, good evening everyone. It's I don't even know what day it is. What day is it? Saturday, probably. 27th of the 2nd, 2021. Yeah, I think that's right. So, good evening. Hopefully you're all having a good time. Sorry, yeah, a little bit delayed. A little bit. It's been one of those days today, and it's just got worse and worse as time has gone on. Oh dear. Sometimes it is very, very easy to fall out of love with technology. And today, and in fact this week, has been kind of like the pinnacle. And I think it's because there's a full moon tonight here in the United Kingdom. Is it a full moon everywhere when it's a full moon here? I guess. I'm not sure. Let me know. Take a look outside the windows, ladies and gentlemen. See if there's a full moon or if it's a partial full moon. I think it's a partial full moon tonight. So that is where we get the phrase lunatic, because everyone goes a little bit crazy at the lunar cycle. Yeah, that's where it comes from. It's true story. Full of useful information. That is what you'll get here at Mike's Unboxing. Also as well, Kath is over there at the control desk answering all your questions and giving me a nudge in the right direction if I miss any of your questions. Also, Kath will be the one getting off her fat backside to turn off the lights if there's any super chats, so you guys know how that works. So, you know, we won't get bogged down with all that detail, but this week has been a nightmare. Let me know in the comments, in the chat. Also, if you're watching this as the video on demand, let me know what has been your worst thing of tech this week. I've had a few. I'll be honest with you, I've had a few, and I'm at the point where I could really murder a drink tonight. So there may well be alcohol consumed within the show this evening. So for younger viewers, if you're slightly averse to curse words and the act of drinking, do watch out, because there will be definitely some of that happening tonight. And hopefully you'll be joining me with it. And starting off the night, Ugly Bob with £5 super chat and says, Kath, get off your backside. And she did. She's wiggling it, Bob.
I see you.
With high heels on as well. Lisa Sue, eat your heart out. She's rattling actual chewing gums to pretend it's heels on a floor. What a dipstick. What the hell is wrong with you? Oh dear, it has been one of those weeks. Unfortunately, we don't have the budget in our expenses to purchase a soundboard with the sound of heels on the floor. So yeah, shaking chewing gums in a rattly can is the best you're going to get, unfortunately. So let's say a quick hello to some of you reprobates in the chat this evening. I don't even know what reprobate means. It's probably a bad term, but anyway, I do apologise. So we've got Ugly Bob in the house, Outlaw Fett, David Aitken, and they look like they're joining the booze cruise this evening. Got Jad 2016. Also, we've got, oh, actually, I can do it from that camera, can't I? Oh, hello. Oh, I cleaned the glass. No, other side. I cleaned the glass on the case before we started the show tonight, because I know how sometimes people get triggered by marks. That front panel has been off of that case more times than I care to think of at the moment. Also, you can actually, can you see? Yeah, you can. Down in that bottom corner there. Tell me in the chat, what case is that? It's pretty obvious what it is.
It's the opposite.
Even though it's not actually very clear or in focus for that matter.
It's the opposite of McDonald's. You're not loving it.
Yeah, it is the opposite of McDonald's. So I am not loving it at all. Has anyone noticed this what it is yet? Let's have a look. I can't see. Ugly Bob's with us, like I said. David Aitkins on the cheap supermarket beer. David Aitken reminds me of being 15 again. Bub's on Scrumpy. Scrumpy Jack. Oh. Sky Stalker's with us. Sky Stalker!
Ricardo asking, would he be banned if he only speaks in Spanish?
Ricardo, we do prefer, due to the fact that we are predominantly a English-speaking and based channel, that we do speak in chat ideally in English, but if you're unable to, feel free to speak in Spanish. You never know, we might learn a few Spanish words like delicioso. Is that one?
That was from Dora.
Is that Dora the Explorer, or is that one of those, what's that wizard with a stick? Harry Potter, that's the kiddie.
He didn't speak Spanish.
No, but he said things like that, didn't he? Delicioso! And he pointed his little pointy thing at a donut. That's the other one.
But only in the game.
You can tell what tonight is going to be like. My head is absolutely shot. Dom's with us as well. Who else we got with us? Paul Bakewell. Paul Bakewell. You made it back after your wife tearing you away from the keyboard. Well done. Venny is with us. Says nice. Angry Doge says hello all. Went for a run. We actually went out for a walk yesterday. For those of you that haven't seen, we went out for a walk with the DJI Cam Pocket 2 thing and took some footage of the local cemetery and graveyard. Not very dark. Maybe a little bit.
But sunny.
It was good, sunny. And actually
Dark but sunny.
got a bit more colour in my face. Spent about a couple of hours in the sun, so it was good. Feel good. Apart from obviously this week's goings on, Mark Proctor says hello and good evening. John Sullivan's with us, says good evening all. Rich York is with us, says evening. James Miscellaneous. Good old James. Our man in the US of A.
Is there anyone else who can speak Spanish?
Yeah, if there's anyone else who can speak Spanish, feel free to speak amongst yourselves. I haven't got a clue. Ultra Game World says, hi Mike, good to catch a live stream. The 3060 release was a nightmare. Oh well, things can only get better. I wouldn't bank on it. Things getting better are, I don't think it will be. I think we're headed for a whole world of hurt. And looking at the prices at the moment, we'll talk about the 3060 launch in a minute. Sad times, sad times. Ricardo's in the house. David Bell. Who else we got? Harry McFarlane. How you doing? Hopefully I'm missing out anyone's names. Dutch Jan. Hi. Russell Review says hi, Kath. I think I've done it. Mark Point, blah, 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 blah. Ugly Bob Super Chat. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much caught up. Aletta! Aletta's with us as well.
Is she okay?
Is she okay? Aletta's always okay. There could be a thermonuclear war and she would be okay. She is a tough cookie.
I've not seen her this week.
Captain Meets Adventure says, Calf, get that man a bear.
Do you want a bear?
Oh, come on then. That's kind of you to offer. Thank you. Mark says, we're not doing too well with the Spanish here. I think English is a better choice. Potentially. Potentially. We struggle with English, I certainly do. And I've been trying to speak it all my life. That was badly spoken there. Raymond V. Gregory says, hi, Calf. Sir Soppy Ball says, evening all. Yo no hablo español. Yep. What he said. Stuart Cleary says, what's the story, lads? Well, the story is, this week has been absolute scheisse fest. Letter says if there was a thermonuclear war, I'd probably start it. Yeah, that'd be a letter out in the back garden with one of her many, many powerful firearms trying to shoot down UFOs. And as I said in Independence Day, please do not fire your weapons at the visitors. You may inadvertently start an interstellar war. Don't do it. Mark Potter says, I don't speak English. I struggle to type it, that's for damn sure. Ah, good old calf. Not old, but yeah. That's better. Got some RGB. Boo, 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 boo. Thank you, Bob. Russell's review says, I would really like to get a 6700. You have got more chance of winning the lottery on 2 successive weeks than getting a 6700 at the moment. And in fact, even if you won the lottery for 2 successive weeks and you had the money, you'd probably still struggle to get one of those GPUs unless you swapped it for a house, which is probably not the most prudent of things to do. Although saying that, there are some pre-builds. Now that's what gets me at the moment. Manufacturers are deliberately holding on to graphics cards so they can put them into pre-builds to sell the whole system. I get it. I totally get it. But it's still... I'm actually tempted to buy a system with the graphics card in it, just to do it. It's ridiculous. What are you doing, Kath?
Some white tack. They want that BMW thing on too.
Oh, look, you. Okay. Don't know if that's going to work. Somebody's requested the BMW badge on the Q-Link.
Well, not on the Q-Link, but bringing it.
Sorry. Sorry, headphone users.
James Miscellaneous.
I'm going to go all Beastie Boys now. Don't break my Q-Link. There we go. Sorry. Let's not let it be said that I don't do what people ask me to sometimes. That is quite nice. Let's turn the RGB off because I don't want to waste the batteries. There we go.
Back to the question.
Anyway, back to the questions and discussions. So, Sky Stalker says, "Do it, Mike. Buy the system, review the video card." Word, yeah, or something like that. I don't know. I'm not down with the Ute. I have actually got a graphics card to review over there. Which can you pass, please? Sorry, Kat. Actually, let's talk about the crap things that have happened this week before we talk about some of the better things. So obviously the 3060 launch, well, it might as well have been the 3070 launch. Saying that, I think the 3080, 3090 and 3070 launches were considerably better than the absolute scheisse fest that we experienced on, I don't even know what day it was. What day was it, Thursday? What day is it today? What's Saturday? Of course it is, a live stream.
Wednesday.
So was it Wednesday or Thursday? It was a day this week, definitely. And it wasn't a good day for a lot of people.
Might have been Thursday.
I went on to eBuyer. I had a Zotac 3060 twin fan ready to go in my basket. And at some point, I don't know how, it managed to leap from out of my basket back into their stock. It said it was available. I clicked on buy, or sorry, pre-order, because it was supposed to be coming out towards the end of the month. And it just bounced. It kept on going. I put it in the basket and it was like, It's like, no, in the basket. She puts the dog in the basket. And it wouldn't happen. And I went through a few things, spent about 20 minutes, and eventually gave up and thought, sod it. I'm going to do a live stream about a doorbell. The doorbell was available from stock, luckily. It was a pretty enjoyable doorbell. And in fact, actually, we've settled on a tune for our doorbell, which is actually one of the themes from, what's the film, Kath?
Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid.
Not me.
We've settled with Under the Sea. Well, I say we like that. Angel chose it, honestly. I'm not lying. And I kind of like it now. I'm getting used to it. So we've got a bit of Under the Sea.
But I don't.
It cracks us up because every time we have to go and answer the door, it's like, you know the postman is going to be absolutely pissing himself at that.
I'm embarrassed.
Anyway, it's good fun.
I don't even answer it because I think it's somebody's phone ringing.
Yeah. BMW, Bald Mike's World. Hey! You're supposed to be supporting me, not dissing me in chat.
But it was like Big Mike's World.
Oh, got it, okay. Cosmic Space Muffins with us as well. Says hello. Jad2016 says, it was an awful experience trying to get a 3060. I was on eBuyer and I also had the Zotac Twin Edge design for $299. Yeah. And his got removed from the basket too. See, so I'm not just making it up. I'm not just doing it to get sympathy or to get views. It is an actual thing. Some of us were on the Discord watching it, kind of watching it all unfold, and yeah, it was absolute crap fest. And what makes it worse is Zotac kindly sent me this to review, the 3060 Ti, which is obviously a much better card than the 3060, but you still can't buy it. So I feel really blessed in some respects to actually have it, to be able to use it, to see what it's like, but it's also very bittersweet because also, if it is very good, I can't buy it, and you guys probably can't buy it, which is a real crap place to be at the moment. So yeah, it's not been great. And I'll give you guys a quick peek, just so you can see what the 3060 Ti is like. Realistically, it's a graphics card. I haven't actually looked. I made sure that the box was there and that it was actually in there because it came cellophane wrapped. So as per usual, you get your Zotac kind of holographic stuff going on. No extra cables. I'm minding the bear. It's alright. Chill. I have had a bad day today. It's been a particularly bad day. I think this has actually been used already. So there we go. There's a nice looking card. And it looks like it has actually got a splash of RGB possibly. No, it hasn't. I'm lying to myself. I think it might have actually. That might actually be RGB on the side. Well, that makes a great deal of difference. It's quite a compact card as well for a twin fan single 8-pin connector, which is always good to see. And as you can see on the back there, it's got that good old telltale sign, which probably won't focus on, where it says not for resale. You can tell who gets these for reviews or not, because if you look at the Zotac reviews, look for a pink sticker. If it's got a pink sticker, they've been sent it for review. If they haven't been sent it for review and it's got a pink sticker, it means someone's been very naughty.
Tough version?
No, it's not a tough version. That's the Asus. Zotac generally do the amp editions. They're kind of high-end. Although saying tough really is kind of a budget option. Anyway, that's enough of that. We'll see some more of that when we do the review.
James has got a nipple in it.
See you in a minute, James. So anyway, yeah, that is the Twin Edge OC. Doesn't actually say about RGB on there. Ice Storm 2.0 extended warranty. No, maybe it's not. Oh well, we'll find out. Hopefully. I'm not going to knock the beer over. So realistically, the 3060 Ti probably in the region somewhere of around about a 2080 Super, possibly in some titles. So a very, very nice card. And if it was available for the normal retail price, it would be bloody great. And they would sell like they were going out of fashion. They genuinely would.
Cosmic says that is not ass in your glass.
That is not ass in my glass, unfortunately. No, this is cheap English beer. Well, it's not even English, it's Scandinavian, I think. Good looking Zotac card. Yeah. Would be nicer if you could actually get one. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Ricardo says, I love Zotac cards, compact and very powerful. Yeah, actually, the PC behind me, that's got the Zotac GeForce 2060 Super, the mini edition, which is actually a very nice card. And it is very, very small. I keep on looking at the fans on it and thinking, actually, it's not too far. Yeah, that is very similar, actually, size-wise. Anyway, I digress. So, did anybody manage to bag themselves a 3060? Of the viewers that are watching currently, there's about 70 odd of you. So, by the odds, I would say realistically, probably none of you. I don't think there's even 70 cards in the country, in the UK. I could be wrong, but I don't think there was. Or at least if they were, they're all pre-allocated to builds, I'm sure. Mike equals compact and powerful. Yes. That is me.
Nitro 187 says, how do you update Tomahawk Max BIOS? Discord.
Yeah, done a video on that.
Have we?
Yeah, done that. Well, it's exactly the same as the
Say it.
Gaming Edge. Yeah. Who was it who said it?
Nitro 187.
Nitro 187. How do you update Tomahawk Max BIOS? We've done a video on that for the Gaming Plus, most of the B550 range, so it's essentially exactly the same. If you get stuck, drop by our Discord, then we can help you for it. Taylor says, I'm not paying the price at the moment. Damn right. The prices are insane. Like the 3060, when you look at it, the Zotac version that we're discussing just now, which we couldn't get, at a recommended retail price of $299, at the moment, when you think of it, that's like, wow, that's not a bad price. 300 quid. But then if you look a bit further back, 300 quid would have been, probably 4 or 5 years ago, a top-end card, like the cream of the crop. So like 3080, 3090 levels. So it just goes to show how far we've come with pricing and scaling, where the whole product stack is completely skewed. Like now we're thinking £300 is almost like a budget card, £500, £600 is like your mid-range, and £1,000 is like the top end. I still don't understand where it went wrong. Like, so badly wrong. When did we get to a point where £1,000 seems even remotely acceptable for a graphics card? And most people won't spend that on an entire system. I don't think I have, personally. I may have done over time by adding parts. I don't think I've ever actually spent £1,000 in one hit on a system. £1,000? I've not done it. I don't intend to, I don't think so. Sort of £700-800 for me is kind of before my butt starts clenching. Anything after £800 and it's like I'm starting to feel physically ill, because that's a lot of money. It really is, and it's diminishing returns after a certain point. Anyway, Stuart Clary says, I'm waiting for the mining bubble to burst for a used 3080. Well, from what they've been saying, I don't know whether some of you have seen it in the news the last few days, but it appears that the current mining software is really, really heavily degrading the silicon on graphics cards. So it used to be buying a mining card was like, okay, it's probably had a heavy life, the fans are probably going to be knackered. But now it's more of a case of the actual silicon is going to be degrading, and it's not going to boost as high as it should do. It's just basically not going to perform as it should. So you'd have to buy like a 3090 to get 3080 performance. Possibly. We have to wait to see that verified, and obviously as time goes on with the mining, etc., to see how it does degrade a card. But we get that with pretty much with most things these days. AMD processors do have there's a definite thing where processors do degrade in performance over time, especially with overclocking and precision boost overclocking. It does degrade the silicon after a while. So yeah, we'll see. Robert Francis says, what's mining? It's something that the Welsh were very good at in the 70s and 80s.
We've got mines under our house.
Yeah. The Trojan says it's getting to the point where your new graphics card will cost more than your first car. Definitely. Yeah.
But not quite to the stage of where it costs more than your first car insurance.
David Aiken says the only top-end card ever worth buying was the 1080 Ti. Yeah. I think I would be agreeing with you. I still think that the 10 series from NVIDIA was probably one of the best series ever launched. The 1070 in particular, the 8GB model, was... I know the Steam hardware survey says the 1060 is like the cream of the crop, but I think for the value for money and the performance, the 1070 8GB is absolutely brilliant. What's that, huh?
Robert Francis said he's Welsh and enjoyed the rugby earlier.
And Robert Francis, yes, I'm Welsh, enjoyed the rugby earlier. Is there rugby on? Someone said there's 6 Nations on at the moment. We don't have a TV, so no idea. We don't have a radio either, so I don't know.
Convert it to DAB because it's...
Yeah. We could actually, we could actually be. Well, there could be all kinds of stuff going on in the world. I've got no idea. And this is on the Tinterweb, not a clue. David Aiken says, yes, the 1070 was phenomenal. John Sullivan says, still got my 1070 cracking card. Yeah, they are. The 1070 was, for me, the high spot, definitely. Really, really was. Vika says, I watched your video for BIOS and you saved me. Thank you. No problem. Glad to hear it. Ugly Bob says, I just got a bonus from work, but I still won't fork out for an inflated price CPU or GPU. Bob, I don't blame you. It's ridiculous. It genuinely is ridiculous. Every single day I'm looking at PC Part Picker and Hot UK Deals. Also checking out Discord and ShopSmart, seeing what is about. And there ain't a lot. There really isn't a lot. It's getting to the point where I'm getting quite despondent. Like, I actually sold a system this week and I sold it for considerably less than it was actually worth, which in hindsight was probably a stupid thing to do. But sometimes you do these things and yeah, it is what it is. On the plus side, it was going to somebody who I knew was going to be doing some 4K gaming. They're into Forza Motorsport. They've got their own little rig set up with the chair, the steering wheel, the shifters and all that kind of stuff. So I knew it was going to a good home and it was going to be used for gaming. So I thought, yeah, that's good. It's not going to be someone who's just going to buy it and then flip it or break it for parts. So I was pretty pleased with that. And actually, if any of you are interested, I can go through what it is. I got on PC Part Picker because I did price it up. So if you guys want to see what the system was, what I sold it for and what it was actually worth, let me know in the comment section. And if you want to, we'll have a quick detour and take a look at the system I sold if you like. But if you don't, we'll ignore it altogether. And while we're just thinking about that, this week has been an absolute prick, for want of a better term, for me buying stuff and stuff not working or just being very unpleasant. Now, it peaked today. We had peak. I don't even know what the word is. I'm struggling to find the word in my head of how disappointing today has been. So those of you that are regular viewers to the channel know that I was a very big proponent, I think that's the right word, of the Lian Li 215, which was basically a kind of successor to the GameAxe F15. Both cases, brilliant, loved them. The F15 I've had many months now. I think I bought it back in March last year, around about March, April. Absolutely bulletproof, fantastic case. The Lian Li, for some reason, today I was doing a test for a new CPU cooler, which we actually got, which I will grab now. Check out the butt on that. He must work out. So today I've been doing my review of the Be Quiet Pure Loop 240. This is a fantastic CPU cooler. If you're looking for one, definitely put this on your shopping list. Now, one of the reasons for it is because it's very minimal and minimalist. This bloody microphone, I'm going to chop the bloody thing off. The actual kind of cold plate has got just a plain white LED around the outside. So I thought to myself, fantastic, I'll put it in the Lian Li, nice and easy access, because you've got plenty of room to put a water cooler in the top section without kind of causing yourself grief or cuts. So yeah, still got all my digits. So I put it in there and I thought, right, okay, I'll go into my ASUS software as you would, the ASUS Aurora, and we'll just go bish bosh bosh and change all the lighting to white to match the Be Quiet. Could have changed it to orange, I suppose, to a little bit of a accent colour, but I figured white would be the way to go. So I changed it to white, put the case into pass-through mode, press and hold the button as you're supposed to. It went white for about 1 second, turned off, and then flashed like one LED on each fan in white. And I'm like, well, that's definitely not right. So then I spent the next hour trying to diagnose whether or not it was my ASUS addressable RGB header or the controller on the case. So I went through a few things and then basically narrowed it down to being the RGB controller. I then got another controller, tried it, that worked fine. Got some RGB strips out, plugged those in directly to the motherboard just to confirm, double check, triple check, all that stuff, make sure the connections are right. And it seemed that every single time I initialized the controller to do pass through to the motherboard, it would light up absolutely fine for like a few seconds, then it would turn off and then just blip colours. And it's like, Jesus H. Corbett, all I'm trying to do is film a review of this cooler, which is actually really good and it was impressing me with its abilities, but the case was giving me absolute jip. So it turned out in the end, I looked at when I got it and I've wondered where I got it from. So I looked on Amazon, looked through my shopping history, and it was well within a year of buying it. So it's like, yes, I'm going to send the bloody thing back. Despite the fact I got it for a decent price, which was $69.99, which you got absolutely no hope of getting these days. But I figured if I've got to buy myself a new RGB controller, that's going to cost me another 15, 20 quid. So yeah, what the hell? I'll just get rid of it and then I'll get something else. So I then went through the laborious task of taking everything out of my Lian Li 215 and then putting it into what I can only say is one of the most frustrating cases I've ever built in, which was the Fantex P400A, which, for those of you that joined the stream earlier, you could see, and if I go to the other camera now, there you go, down in the corner, minding its own business down there.
Have you eventually answered that question you asked earlier?
What's that?
What case is it?
Oh yeah, that is the case, by the way. I didn't really answer that question particularly well, so I do apologise for that. So yes, the case is the Fantex P400A, which, for some reason, a lot of reviewers have actually reviewed and said, yeah, it's great, it's one of the best cases on the market. Well, I beg to differ. It has been an absolute pain in the jacksie. For me, building in a case should be an enjoyable experience, but building in that thing was an absolute nightmare. The wiring for the front fans is hideous. There's no obvious ways of routing it. It's impossible to get a radiator in the top, literally impossible. Like, the motherboard that's in there isn't a particularly fat one, and I've even taken about 5mm off of the top of the RGB RAM by taking the actual plastic diffusers off the top, and still not a hope in hell. And this is a relatively slimline cooler, which I was trying to put in there, but it wasn't having it. So after doing all that, put it all back in, and there's no fan hub in the Fantex P400A. None at all. No RGB hub, no fan hub, nothing. Nada. So then I'm looking around at all my fans and looking, right, what have I got where I've got the option of either a cheap fan hub or the ability to put 6 fans on using the normal controller, like the 5V 3-pin and a PWM, and one that actually works reliably. I went through every single fan set I've got here. The closest I got, ironically, was the GameMax controller, which would have actually done the job, but then I still needed another 3 fans to go in the top and in the back. So eventually I gave up and I used the very simple but elegant solution of the Arctic fan hub, which is, go out the box, which is one of these. A tiny little device that can actually save your bacon. So you plug in SATA and you can plug in up to 10 fans, and it's got a PWM control. And I'm happy to say that the PWM control works perfectly with those fans. So currently I've got the one connector going into chassis fan header 2, 3 fans connected, and it's all hidden away. It needs a bit of a tidy up, but I am going to go through, now that I've done the build in it, and actually kind of reflect. I'm going to take a day or two to kind of calm down after my crappy day, and then look at it on a more kind of objective level, rather than doing it based on emotions. Because doing an emotional review, although funny as hell, isn't always the full picture. So I'm going to leave it a couple of days. I've got to be honest with you, I do like the look of it. I did like having 2 huge fans in the front, but I think having the 3 is still good, and the temps seem to be good. So other than the fact that I'm never going to be able to fit a radiator in it, unless I stick it in the front, which just, no, not going there. Other than that, it's all right. It has some downsides. It certainly isn't what I would consider to be one of the best cases on the market. But we'll see as days go on. Kath's got her hand up, so that means an incoming question.
David Aikens said, have you got any 140 fans?
Yes, I have.
Just for sale?
Not for sale, I don't think. I have.
Harry asked, does the Co-Link mesh RGB case come with a fan hub?
Yes, the Co-Link RGB mesh does, yeah, Systel, sorry, does come with a fan hub, and actually a pretty decent one. Well, I'll say pretty decent. It gets the job done, and for all the fans that come with it, you can add. I think you can add another 3 fans possibly. Although it's got slightly unusual RGB setup, so you can connect up fans, but the RGB connections, I think if I remember rightly, are like a custom connection. You'd have to refer back to the video, the review, to see that, because unfortunately I don't have that case anymore. That was one of the things that we lost this week. Ugly Bob says, I love me Fantex P300A. God damn it. David Aiken says, should have stuck with the 4000D. Well, the 4000D is George's, that's upstairs, so I did quite like that. I did quite like the 4000. I might go for another one, another Corsair case. We'll see what turns out. It might be that AWDIT will want to return that case to me once they've replaced it, but I don't think they will. I think Amazon will just refund it. So I am on the lookout for a case. So let me know your suggestions for a case of a similar kind of ilk and around about the same sort of price, about 80 quid, 70 quid. Yes, Kath.
And also, whilst we're doing that, let's sort my B-sods.
Yes, yeah, that is well reminded, yeah. Also today, whilst fighting with that bloody case, also, Kath was getting loads of blue screens of death on her computer.
B-sods.
B-sods were happening, and I'm not entirely sure why it was. So time was limited, so I basically had to hit it with as many potential fixes as possible in one hit. So we did a Windows update to the latest preview edition of Windows 21H2, I think it is at the moment. So we installed that, installed the new chipset drivers as well, and also swapped out the Corsair RAM, which I don't know what it is. I always have problems with Corsair RAM. Whether or not that was the issue, I don't know. I should have licked it, but I thought, I can't be bothered. I've got too much going on. I need the PC to be stable. So I did what I always do when I need something to be stable, and I grabbed some of that V-Color RAM, the old Prism stuff, which we had from the very first lot. I think it's just called Prism, isn't it? Was it Prism Pro? I think it's just the Prism. Yeah. Basically, it's the V-Color RGB Prism, and that stuff is just so rock solid at 3200 megahertz in CAF system with the B450 board, the 1700X, absolutely perfect. Put it in, Bosch XMP, and touch wood, it's been absolutely flawless ever since. So whether it's the RAM, whether it's Windows, whether it's something else, I don't know, but at the moment it does seem to be stable. And that is part of the reason, actually. I did buy some more V-Color RAM at my own money. I think did I tell you this in the last stream?
No, I think it came on. You had to come.
I think
You had to open the door. I think that was Monday.
So I did buy some more. You lot probably think I just shill the hell for V-Color. But no, I don't. This actually I did spend my own actual money. So this is, you get an RGB dummy kit. And this is the Prism Pro. So this is DDR 3600, but this is their new black edition, which I haven't actually taken out of the box yet. So let's see what this looks like. Nearly lost the booze. So that looks pretty nice. So there we go. There is their V-Color black. It looks actually kind of like the Corsair stuff. Obviously you've got your RGB along the top. And also there's like a V there, which is for V-Color. And V-Color, what they do is as well, which I particularly like about their RAM, is they make their own RAM chips. So they can custom pick the RAM that goes inside of their modules, which is brilliant. And they also support a weird and wonderful feature, which escapes me what it's called now. Where is it? It's basically like an error correction, but it does it actually on chip. So rather than actually being ECC RAM and having a separate ECC chip, the chips themselves are ECC. So it kind of overrides it. Basically, it prevents memory issues, but good stuff. And this is the same stuff. So the memory kit, the RGB dummy kit, is effectively the same deal, just it doesn't have any DRAM in it. So it's just so you can put in 4 sticks of RAM. So it looks essentially like that. That is the silver version. I think that's the DDR, that might be the 4000 kit actually. Yeah, that's DDR4 4000. So not ideal, because obviously the frequency divider thing with Ryzen. But anyway, so I got this and looking forward to using that in a build up and coming. And it was a relatively good price as well. I got it shipped in from United States. And
Make a Matthew Day cringe now. Next video, how to clean booze out of the laptop.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be a good one. Although that'd be good for the insurance company, because they're like, how did it happen? Well, I was drinking booze in a stream. Do you have any evidence? Yes, I've got about 100 viewers which watch me do it. David Aikens put 199 in the kitty and says 80 plus viewers and only 23 likes. Come on, people. Yeah, you tight bastards. When I say tight bastards? Well, good. Let's put that back up there. So anyway, yeah, V-Color RAM, definitely recommend it. And there's some quite interesting packaging as well. I wish I could remember what their thing was. Anyway, it's on their site. But yeah, if you want a trouble-free life, get yourself some V-Color RAM. I can't believe it hasn't taken off more than it has, actually. You don't see it very many places at all.
Stuart clearly.
Which is good, because the price stays low.
Unliked.
Okay. Stuart Cleary says, "Oh, Shizen, I unliked." You can like a game. 47 now. That's better. Thank you, guys and girls. Oh, and there's another super chat from Ugly Bob. 420 blazing. West Side. Actually, I've got to take this bloody stupid thing off. Oh, stuck. I blue tacked myself together. For those of you that are wondering why the hell have I got a BMW logo on my desk, there is actually a good reason for it. There is a video that we did on Friday?
Yeah.
Yes, yesterday. Which involved a BMW badge, a Microsoft keepy cup, and also curtains. No doubt you'll find out what that was all about in due course. But if you're regulars and you'll see it and you'll go, ah, I see. Dun dun dun! Flame the cat, jumping all over the drinks.
Box.
Go on, get the hell out of here. Damn nuisance. Flame, don't touch the camera. It's an expensive camera. Also today, I treated myself to a new phone cover because my other phone cover was completely ruined. I managed to pick one up which is almost on par with the logo. Quite pleased that worked out as well as it did. Harry McFarlane says, do V-Color do 4 gig sticks? If so, where? Because I can't find any. I don't think they do. I think 8 gig is their entry level now. Majid, is that Majid? I'm probably pronouncing that badly. Can we hear more about the underpriced PC you sold this week? Interested in that story. Digital Demonic Davros. Nice, that's a great name. Digital Demonic Davros. Hello from Australia. How you doing? Kath, we can see you in the case reflection. Just thought I'd mention it, lol. Switch the cameras, Mike. Rick York, change camera, Mike. Ugly Bob says, that's Tiffany Blue, you tart. Okay, I'll go with that. John Sullivan says, any tips for an obese cat that sleeps all day? No. No. Stuart Cleary's 10 euros says, great channel. Cheers. Thank you. And also Cosmic Space Muffin with 10 Norwegian Coronas. I think I got that right. Possibly. Yes, thanks Stuart and thanks Cosmic. Bless you. Right, let's have a look at Ashley. Right, this was one of the other... Well, actually, both of these things here are also colour-coded with my... the blue So there's a theme here. So that means that this is going to fall apart imminently, but it better bloody not. R25. Nope, that don't work. So anything which has got pale blue on it this week is basically causing me grief. So it started off with my case, which fell apart. Pale blue, calf's got pale blue jeans, yep, that'll do. The next one, I'm trying to think which order this happened. Right, it was the power supply. Now this power supply I've deliberately not opened. This has still got the cellophane on it. And the reason I've done that is because I did order another one. Now, most of you that know are regulars to the channel, you'd have seen me using these power supplies on a relatively regular basis. And we've got through a fair few of them. We're not sponsored by them, we're not affiliated or anything. What's that?
David Akins.
David Akins. Oh shit.
In capitals.
Not another bloody Cylon, yes.
Before you go on about how you use them.
So, yes. There you go. David has said yes, not another Cylon. Now, the one that I had, which I bought, which was going to go into the cheapo build with the Ryzen, no, the Athlon 3000G, 2200G, whatever it was. I don't know, I lose track. Basically, the MSI PC, which we're going to destroy the BIOS on by flashing it and then pulling the power out. So, I ordered the new Cylon power supply to go in that machine because I had to take out the Great Wall power supply that was in there to put into the PC I've sold, because that was a better power supply, and I figured if I'm selling a PC, it might as well have the better power supply just to prevent any issues down the line. So anyway, I got out the new power supply, the Cylon, 26 quid. For 26 quid, obviously, you don't expect miracles. What you do expect, though, is for all the cables to be firmly connected to the power supply. So, the one I had, one of the SATA cables, basically the way they make power supplies is they get the cables to a certain length in a bundle, and they basically use like a crimping mechanism to actually put the connectors on. So, depending where it is in the line on the actual connector, you probably use these in cars, like snap or Scotch lock connectors, they call them in cars, for wiring in radios or accessories, that kind of thing. So essentially what it is, you've got your cable, one of the cables is terminated on the end normally, and the ones as it goes down through the line are essentially two-part. So you put the back on and then you put the front on and they kind of snap together. And when it does that, it kind of makes a very small cut through the plastic sheathing of the wire to make contact. So yeah, you get the general idea. Essentially it's like splicing a wire to make a contact. So I got out of the power supply, got the other PC ready to do everything I needed to do. Was about to do a live stream on how to kill the BIOS on a B450 motherboard by putting the power during the flash. And the bloody thing had one of these cables where it was spliced. It spliced a bit too much and it was just loose with bare wire showing. And it was, fortunately, I think it was towards the end, and I didn't need the extra Molex on the end. So I thought to myself, well, do I just trim the rest of the cables, cut them off, and just go with it? But I figured, no, because if I ever sell the PC or do anything with the power supply, you can guarantee, as soon as you cut off one of these connectors, you'll do another job or another project, and it'll be like, oh, if only I had another SATA, or if only I had another Molex connector, that would be perfect. So I didn't bother. So I sent that back, which didn't cost me anything, and then they've sent me this one, which arrived today, which I was hoping to come a little bit earlier, but this one does appear to be absolutely tip-top condition, which I'm very, very pleased about, because that means now I can kill that other motherboard. Which, yeah, some of you have been asking about in various chats, so yes, it is going to happen. We are going to try and flash a B450 motherboard using the M flash system, or the USB flash. We're going to flash it, and during the flashing process, we're going to remove the power cable to basically kill the process. And then we're going to try and reflash the BIOS after to see if it is recoverable. If not, I've lost a £60 motherboard. If it does work, potentially I've helped many, many hundreds of people. At least that's what I'm hoping for. So, worst case scenario, I lose 60 quid. Best case scenario, we learn something new, and it gives a lot of other people out there a little bit of hope.
At least your hair won't stand on end.
Yeah, it won't. If yeah, it'll be basically it's a nice thing to know because nobody knows for sure, and obviously when I do it, it's going to be dependent only on the board that I'm using. It isn't going to cover all models, but certainly they do seem to share a common chip, from what I can tell, which I can't find any information about on the internet. So the only way we can find out for sure is to try and kill it and see if it lives. Could be expensive, but could potentially be heroic. So it's a gamble I'm prepared to take.
Will it blend?
Will it blend? It probably will do. James Brock says, what PSU is Mike talking about? This is the AeroCool Cylon. Lind IT Computers says, watched your review of the Ions KZ16 case. Ordered and built in. Fantastic cheap case. Thanks for the review. No worries. Glad you enjoyed it.
Got build coming up and that's
Flash says Ugly Bob. Copyright.
They wouldn't recognise it.
Why do you want to kill it? What did the motherboard do to you? Is tech driving you mental this week? You've got to take it out on a motherboard. It is true. That is, yeah. It has been fraught with things. So that was another thing which, on a normal week, it'd be like, okay, whatever. But the hits just kept on coming this week. I felt a bit punch drunk. I really did. So the next one is, this one is potentially a public service announcement, or it could just be one of those things. I don't know. I've made the video. It hasn't been released yet, but it certainly will be. So most of you out there at the moment have heard of these guys up here, because pretty much most tech tubers now have kind of cottoned on to the fact that they're actually pretty decent stuff and cheap and cheerful, RGB, gets views, etc, etc. You know where I'm coming from with this. So when I saw that Up Here did essentially a snowman in a slightly different, prettier guise, I figured, hey, why not? That'd be worth a look. Now this looks like a fantastic, this looks like a particularly good cooler. You got, did I say 6? I lied. It's got 5 heat pipes on the bottom. It's got an addressable RGB fan, which is nice, and actually is the same color shades as the Up Here fans. So if you're looking at coordinating a system, then this could be potentially right up your street. There is, however, as there always tends to be, a downside. So the fan itself is okay. It's got a little bit of extra wiring going on for the extra RGB. There is actually RGB as well in the top section. Give you a little bit more RGB bling. It's broken anyway, don't worry about it. So I was going through doing the review, and I was doing some B-roll. And as I do, I normally take it out, do the B-roll, and then I do the review, having taken a close look at it. So I'm going to show you this now up close, and you tell me if you can see what the potential issue is. I think that's focused. So let me know in the chat what you think is going on. James Miscellaneous says that's a sharp looking cooler. It is sharp actually, it's bloody hurts in my hand. IKEA air cooler. No one's mentioned anything yet. Kenny D says, I wonder if this cooler is as good as a snowman. Well, Ugly Bob says, oh fudge, that's a canny angle. Dave Aiken says, on the piss. Stuart says, Mike's gone all paddy-like. Damn, that's a wonky bottom plate. Now, the bottom plate isn't necessarily wonky. So let's just remove some of the other bits. So this bit here, the cold plate, as it's known, is normally soldered to the heat pipes. On this particular model, it is severely lacking any form of solder. It is basically a removable one. So as you can see, There is no solder on there whatsoever. And basically half of it is unpainted. So that is basically clamped on, and purely by luck and pressure it holds on. Now you can probably just about see there is a ridge in there which kind of holds it on one side, the opposite side that I'm holding. So what that does is you hook it over and then you can kind of twist it into place and it snaps back in. It doesn't always do it first time, which really annoyed me when I was doing the review, because I was like, oh, that's come off, that's bad. There we go, that's almost back on. No, it only goes on one way once it's been taken off. It's not very easy to do. And there we go, that's it. So, also, the sharp or eagle-eyed amongst you, what will you notice about the those copper exposed pipes? Now, I can see from here that that does not look flat in any way, shape or form. Basically, it's like a ridged roof. So if you get something which has got a known flat, such as a ruler, now it's difficult to see here, but basically that's rocking all over the place, and there's basically a high spot on every single one of those heat pipes. So of the entire diameter or circumference or area, whatever you want to call it, of the actual cooler, there's probably only about half of it that ever actually touches the processor.
What's on the back of the ruler?
Conversions.
That's pretty cool.
So I don't think this is going to focus particularly well on this camera, but in the actual review you'll see it a bit better. But essentially those are all ridged. You can see it there actually. You can actually, they're shadowing a little bit where they're so recessed, and you can actually get your fingernail stuck in each one of the ridges. I haven't got particularly long fingernails, but you can see they're getting stuck in there, and it's completely pissed. Now I looked at it on the side and it does look like all of the heat pipes are slightly bent over that way. Again, you can possibly make that out, so they're not entirely straight. But I'm not going to bend them back because that is a design thing. They should have been done properly from the factory. So I was really hesitant about putting this on my Ryzen 9 3900 because I was pretty sure that the temperatures were going to run away from this very, very quickly. Digital Demonic Davros has given us $2 Australian. It says GameX cooler I use on FX chip is the same. Ah, that's interesting. So basically that is, yeah, David Aikens said already, I just noticed that, get some wet and dry after the initial test and retest to see how easily they could have improved it. And Sky says, if it wasn't soldered, it appears to be more stamped. Yeah, that's right. So I put literally a ton of heat paste on there to try and fill the gaps, and I put it on the Ryzen 5 3600 in the PC behind me, and it wasn't entirely rubbish. It didn't make very much contact with the CPU, which again you'll see in the review. So there's basically, when you took the processor off, you could see there is defined ridges of where paste was squished to. I did actually try with a little bit of sandpaper to try and flatten it out a bit, but it's so... It's at some point it's got to be getting on for about 0.5 millimeter, which in terms of actually a flat surface, 0.5 millimeter out is a lot. It really is a lot. And the fact that there's no solder to actually connect the base to those is just terrifying. It really is. So despite the fact that it looks like a particularly nice cooler, and actually when it's up and running, which again you'll see in the review video, it looks bloody amazing. It really does. The fan's pretty quiet. It looks really nice. The RGB all works very well. It synchronizes, etc. It's actually pretty easy to install as well, which is always a bonus. But you just can't get it flat enough on there. And I think if I sanded it enough, it would go. But because of the heat pipes, they're supposed to be flat when the heat pipes are kind of vertical. and then perpendicular to the obviously the cold plate. But because the heat pipes appear to all be shifted slightly, only maybe 1 or 2 degrees to the left, at least the way I'm holding it now, or obviously to the right if I'm doing it that way. But because they're shifted slightly, the flat part of the actual cooler is shifted also. So literally it is like, if you look at a typical English roof where you've got tiles, it's like that all the way down, but on obviously a much smaller scale. So it got to, I think it was about 75 degrees C. The low temperatures were actually pretty decent, which means that it's making enough contact to keep it cool. So it got down to about 32 degrees C in kind of just idle conditions, which in a 22 degree ambient room, yeah, is about what you'd expect. But it did get up to 75 very quickly, like 75, 76, and it kind of hovered. It plateaued at 75, 76, but still 75, 76 degrees for a 120mm cooler, especially on a Ryzen 5 3600, isn't great. So yeah, I'm sending this back, and I'm actually going to get a replacement, but I'm going to wait a week or two to see if it actually comes through as it. I'm also interested to know if anyone else out there has got one of these up-here coolers. The model number, I think, is, no, it doesn't even say on the box. It's such a OEM product, it's ridiculous. Kath will find it for you now, but essentially I would love to know if anyone else has bought one, whether they've experienced the same, if it's a one-off, is it something this is going to happen again? I'm really...
1055.
Was it
N1055.
N1055 is the model number.
ARGB.
ARGB on the end, so if anyone's used one, maybe you've put it on and not even noticed. I think you probably would, because it does stick out a bit as being a little bit odd. So let me just, I'm going to put this away a minute. But I'm definitely going to send this back.
What's the link for Amazon?
Kath's put the link in the chat box, so you can check them out if you want to get one. I think for most CPUs, for lower end stuff, if you just want to make a system look nice and you're not particularly bothered, then it's going to be absolutely fine. Like Ryzen 3 stuff is going to be no issues at all. But for me, I don't know. It is 30 quid's worth as well, which these days is actually quite a lot for a CPU cooler.
Does Flame improve the performance under load?
Yeah, Flame does improve the performance.
That is Maisie.
That's Maisie in there. Can't see her.
Push her back.
Come here, Maisie. There we go. There's Maisie. There he is. He's a she. Skystalker says I would not put that anywhere near the Ryzen 9 3900X. Yes, I think you might be right. I don't know what come over me. I think it's because it's up here branded, and I figured up here stuff is actually not too bad. It's pretty decent gear. But this is, I'm hoping it's just a one-off, and it's just a design fail. It is a pretty hard fail. Anyway, yeah. If anyone else has got one, let me know. If you don't want to say live in the chat, then you can always email me. The address is there underneath Maisie's nose. Yeah, let's unbox a cat. Meow. Maisie. Right, so that can go back into the returns pile, Kath. What else went wrong this week?
The car?
Oh, the car. Yeah, that's not really tech. Well, it is tech. I suppose the electrics are shot on it. Hence why I don't need a BMW badge.
Your cat's cooler than that cooler.
Definitely send that back to them. It is John Sullivan says great cooler. Skystalker says I like their fans. Mark says your cat's cooler than the cooler. Alessa says she'll stay with open loops. James Miscellaneous says I'd sell that cooler to Ghost Adder. Yeah, you'd appreciate it. James Brock says Hyper 212 is like the Honda or Toyota of CPU coolers, and sure ugly. Oh, I've been trying to convince my parents for a cat for ages, Parents won't let me. Aww.
I had to wait till you were ill to
Yeah.
get to. She's 10 this year.
Measy,
She's our love child.
say hello to the people. You're not interested, are you? Aww. Right, let's show you the PC that I sold this week. Well, I'm not going to show you because Matthew Day says, is that Cat 5 or Cat 6? It's actually Cat 3. It's very slow, very old.
Very old.
Which
She's Flame's mummy.
I can't remember which one I've got. Windows Desktop, that's the one. So this is the PC that I've sold this week. Some of you have probably seen most of this already, so I'll try not to bore you all to tears with it.
They did all
But
see it.
realistically, yeah, whatever. She's falling asleep in that box. They do. Cats are a murder for that. Any boxes. If you've got an unboxing channel, you've got to have a cat. So, processor-wise, Intel i3. Now, the prices here are current as of Thursday, I think. So, yeah, this is what it priced up as. Some of the things I had to put prices in manually because I couldn't find them on PC Part Picker. They may be slightly out, but you get the idea. So, Intel Core i3 10100F, 3.6 quad-core processor, 8 threads. Actually, a pretty decent gaming chip, to be honest with you. Runs things like Forza, Counter-Strike, actually pretty much any game really well, so yep, no issues there. The cooler, Arctic Freezer 34, which I don't think I actually used. I think I used something else altogether, actually. What did I use? I'm trying to think what I did put in there.
You told me the Arctic Freezer isn't mine.
Yeah, because that's in calves. I think it might have been a Freezer 13. Or was it a Freezer 44? I can't remember. Maybe it was. I can't believe I only sold it the other day.
I look on your Facebook and I did it down there.
I don't think I put it on there. Anyway, so Freezer 34, that's a great cooler. It doesn't really need it. The stock one does the job totally fine, but I thought, well, keep it a little bit quieter, so that's pretty decent. Motherboard was the MSI Mag Mortar, which actually is a really nice board.
Jelly Typhoon.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Gelid Typhoon I put in there, which was about the same price, but I couldn't find Gelid on PC Part Picker. Motherboard is the Mag Mortar, which I actually really love the look of this board. That is a sexy board. At least I think it is anyway. And the heatsink on the VRM is absolutely insane, which considering you can't overclock on this board, it's like, well, why did they even bother? There's no point whatsoever. But did the job, so happy days. Yeah, nice looking board. And also one of the things that the guy stipulated, because he's actually going to be doing Forza Motorsports, as in using a throttle setup, you know, throttle pedals, steering wheel, all that kind of stuff, even like a hydraulic handbrake and stuff, then he's actually using 5.1 sound as well. So this board actually has 5.1 and also a optical for his digital sound system, so that made life a lot easier. So yeah, nice board, micro ATX, and you see also it's got some cool features, like it's got Wi-Fi 6 antennas, Bluetooth built in, so you can use Bluetooth headsets if you want to. 2.5 gigabit LAN is also included, and also got fast USB 3.2 Gen 1s, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, really nice board, so I was happy with that.
Oh, I've got the camera back. Maisie's washing her face.
Oh God, the cat's washing herself, so Kath says you would like to see that.
Oh, we love the ears.
It's bath night. You finished already? Oh no, you're gonna have a little scratch.
Just do a bit of yoga.
You done? Maisie, you done? Look at the people. Look. What a diva. RAM-wise, sadly, the best thing that we could find to go in that system was the Corsair stuff, which for some reason works really, really well with Intel stuff, but for AMD it seems to fall apart. So we went with the Corsair Vengeance LPX 16 gig, 2 times DDR 3200, even though technically you can only go up to DDR 2666 on that particular board. This has done the job, and yeah, it's kind of nice stealthy look because all of it is in this kind of blacked out mode, which is cool. So that's the RAM we went for. I didn't go for an NVMe, which may seem like an odd inclusion, but the Silicon Power Drive A55 1TB is a pretty decent choice. Gets decent speeds and it's got 4.9 star ratings. One of the best things is it comes with a really nice warranty, so should anything happen to the drive over the time, then it is covered. And for gaming, it's absolutely fine. You very rarely notice much difference at all with an NVMe drive anyway, apart from maybe boot times. The real bone of contention is this one. So yeah, you guys know what this is. The EVGA RTX 2060 KO, which is a pretty awesome graphics card. At the moment, they sell for ridiculous money, because these appeal to the kind of the streamers and also obviously gamers. It does RTX reasonably well, but it really does well in things like Premiere. So if you're gaming and working, it is a really, really nice card, and I gotta be honest with you, I'm kind of sad to see it go. So I actually bought this from Amazon quite recently for £269, I believe it was, or maybe 270, give or take a pound. At the moment, if you try and buy an RTX 2060 6 gig KO edition, you're normally looking in the region of about £450, maybe even as much as £5 in some places, which is ridiculous. So I've put the price in there as being $310, which is basically ultra money, but it's an approximation. Case-wise, the Colink Citadel RGB mesh, which was the little Colink case which we had, which actually suited this particular build really, really well, because it was going next to all that stuff like a racing seat and pedals and all that stuff, so space was at a premium anyway. So we went for that Windows 10 Pro, blah blah blah, and the CWT 500 watt power supply, which is absolutely fine for that particular setup. So all of that. Oh, why is that gone wrong? Come on. Let's refresh that. There we go. So the total price that I worked out roughly was £776. So say 775 for argument's sake. That is taken out of the equation the crazy extra price at the moment charged for the 2060 KO, which you could probably add on another 100, which would make it closer to 900. Also, I've noticed today, I think the processor's gone up slightly as well, so potentially that is a little bit more as well. The motherboard is about the same, the RAM is roughly the same, but the rest of it is relatively stable. I put £5 for Windows 10 Pro because I would have bought that from Premium CD Keys, obviously, using the discount code Mike's Unboxing if you've not bought one before.
I've just put the link in. Mine don't work, but Ugly Bob's does.
So that is a good place to get a Windows key, and we get a small commission as well. So, well, it would be small because only a £5, but you get the idea. So I actually sold that PC. Well, just let me know in the chat, how much do you think I sold that PC for? Bearing in mind, it cost me, well, just shy of that amount. And I'll give you a few seconds to put in the comments because there is a little bit of a delay. Actually, a lot of a delay. Let's refresh that page. Go on, stream, load you swine. Ah, there we go. So, Irie Wolfman says 900. Ugly Bob says 580. Harry Farland says 600. David Aikens says 700. Ultra Game Rule says 500. Paul Lamont says 500. Kenny D says 1,200 quid. Majid, sorry if I've got your name wrong. I'll say upwards of 800 quid. Mark MC 950. John Smith says £1,000. £1,000. A good £50 to £100 is a good markup for labour. James Brock says $1,100. James Mussina says I'll go with Aiken because he's smart. George Hilton says 3k. Nice. Hilly says I need Mike's wisdom. There's not much of it, but you're more than welcome to. Call me M, it's okay. Okay. Skystalker says I was going to say 1 to 1,100 quid.
Check him out.
That's good. 900 quid says best plays. Well, yeah, some of you are actually quite close and some of you are very far out, so that is to be expected. I actually sold the entire lot, lock, stock and barrel, for 650 quid. So I
also chucked in a keyboard and mouse.
I did throw in a quite nice keyboard and mouse as well, which probably has another value of probably another 50 to 100 quid. So I feel that the entire thing was probably worth about 800 quid, and I sold it for 650. So that's I didn't make any money on it. And did anyone say 650? Harry says I think I was the closest. Let's have a quick look. Did anyone say? Well, David Aiken says 700, so he's £50 out. Ugly Bob was quite close, £70 out. 650, 650. Oh yeah, other camera. So for those of you who guessed, I think that I've done a good turn now. Obviously, I don't want to lose money necessarily, but I guess being that we bloody cables, being what we do here, we do need to move stuff around. So quite often I do get rid of stuff less than what it cost me just to basically make some room. And it's actually good because at the moment there is I've still got an NZXT case, an S340, which is George's old case. If anybody wants that and they're in Bristol, let me know. Yeah, it needs a clean because he's a teenager, or at least he was. Not that kind of clean, it's just grubby. So yeah, and it's in white as well. So if anybody wants an NZXT S340 in white, do let us know. That would be awesome. If you want it posted out to you, it's probably going to cost you, I think we normally charge, it's about 18 quid in it, Kath, for postage.
Yeah, it's roughly
thereabouts.
20.
It's getting on for about 20 quid normally for postage because we have to get it collected and then posted on, and it's also insured for up to the amount of what the case is new. So if anything goes wrong, you can claim and get obviously the cost of a new case effectively, which is actually quite a good idea. So yeah, if anybody wants one of those, do let us know. And Alessa says, when I build a PC, I charge parts plus 10%. That's a pretty good way of doing it, actually. Hilly says, give me your wisdom, Mike. Currently building a PC for my cousin for gaming. Which is better, AMD Ryzen 7 3800X or Ryzen 5 5600X?
Sorry, Joseph.
Well, the Ryzen 5 5600 is going to be better for gaming because it's going to have a better IPC. So basically the individual cores are going to perform better. It's going to have less of them, but they are going to be faster cores. On the flip side is what price is it going to be, and is it actually going to be in stock anywhere? The 5800 was never really a particularly good option anyway. The 3700 was probably always the better option. The 3800 was basically, I think, only a 50 or 100 megahertz faster than the 3700 for like an extra 100 quid or something stupid. So I would say go with the 3700 if that is what you're considering. Or maybe in a Ryzen 5 3600. Still a really good processor. Yeah, David Aiken says 5600X for gaming, definitely. Best Plays says, can you answer my question from earlier, Mike's unboxing? Best Plays. Yeah, you better put it again. So, I wish RTX 3080 was 650 quid. Let's see if there's another one. Let me scroll back. Best plays, pretty nice of you. Whoever got it, nice system. Yeah, hopefully he's pleased with it. Had a few issues trying to get the sound working to begin with because it was a 5.1 setup, and because it was using HDMI into his 4K TV, it was trying to output the audio to the TV, not the speakers, but that was easily resolved. Scrolling through the questions, I can't see that. Oh, hang on, best plays. I'm about to get ready to rebuild my PC from Ryzen 7 1700 RX 5700 XT. What would you recommend getting, or should I wait for the new Intel CPUs? I plan to get a RTX 3080. To be honest with you, if you've got a 5700 XT at the moment, you're pretty much golden. I would stick with that. The Ryzen 7 1700 is lacking a little bit of horsepower these days. Depending on your motherboard, I'd probably look for possibly a new processor. Maybe the Ryzen 5 3600. You could probably sell the Ryzen 7 1700 for probably somewhere between 100 150 quid. You might only have to spend about an extra 30 or 40 quid to get a Ryzen 5 3600, which would be a massive improvement in games over the 1700. As far as getting RTX 3080, yeah, you're going to have to wait. Regardless, unless you've got lottery money, you're going to have to wait.
David's off.
So I think I've answered that.
David's going.
Bye, David. See you later, mate. Excuse me. M says, my first PC didn't post. I had DDU drivers, update BIOS, rebuild outside the case, and a whole lot more. Your channel helped me a load. Glad to hear it.
Patrick.
Oh, best places. I'm going to give the old PC to my son for school. Okay. Joseph says, man, this bald head's so underrated.
Patrick above that. And then another Joseph above it.
Joseph. I'm missing it, I really am.
And Patrick.
Sorry about the radio silence.
You haven't got a time, have you?
No. Joseph says, damn bald head, ignore me, but that's retracted. Ha!
No, it's not that one, it must be further down.
James Miscellaneous says that wedding ring won't come off without a blowtorch. Comes off pretty easy. Looks super shiny. I have been working hard today. I have actually been genuinely sweating blood, sweat and tears today, trying to get these PCs built and get reviews done. Sometimes being on YouTube and doing reviews, I'd probably put myself under way too much pressure by trying to do a video every single day. I actually try and film 2 a day, if at all possible. Sometimes more if they're kind of like those easy kind of how-to type videos. They generally are very, very easy to film and edit. But the reviews are a pain because you've really got to go through, you've got to benchmark, you've got to test, you've got to look for weaknesses, flaws, etc. Potentially sand down the heat pipes. It is an absolute pain at times, and it takes ages. Some reviews, like the NAS reviews, they take days because it's not a NAS is a slow thing to work through, especially assembling discs and all that. It takes ages. So some things are quite difficult to do. Irie Wolfman says, still waiting for Mike's lockdown beard. I can't. It's not going to happen.
Don't like.
No. Calf no like. I no like. Far too itchy. Epon Valdis, you get it. Sorry I was late to the party. Sunday morning here. Thanks for doing the stream. No worries. You're welcome. James Brock says, need to chill more, brah. I find it's because I've been doing this now for like 4 years roughly. It's really hard to turn off and switch off altogether, especially when the weather is not particularly nice. When it's nice weather, you can go out in the garden, you can chill a little bit. It's still going through your mind what you need to do, but it's a really nice feeling to be kind of the master of your own destiny to some extent. obviously, ultimately, my destiny comes down to you guys and YouTube and the algorithm. So if people watch the videos and YouTube lets people see the videos, then everything's groovy. And it's quite nice to wake up in the morning sometimes and think, I don't have to be up at a certain time. Although generally I do, because otherwise I spend ridiculous amounts of time into the early hours of the morning, and it's kind of like 3 o'clock in the morning. It's like, right, I really need to go to bed now. Anyway, that's enough of my first world problems. Matthew Day says, I think Maze is asleep. Who needs fancy cat beds? Yeah, a little cardboard box is much better.
And she gets
Hey, Babs.
a new one nearly every day.
Yeah, luckily the Amazon man brings her a new bed every day. Doesn't he? Cardboard pillow for the win. Irie Wolfman says, I get my Windows from Microsoft. I think most people do. Dom, yeah, Calf does go on the stream after, but doesn't go on camera on YouTube. I think it's because the camera on the laptop, which we took when we have a chat after the stream, the camera's crap, so it flatters really.
That's horrible.
It's for me as well. I think that is.
Oh, Stuart Clear is a double PVC windows double glazing. He could have done our
lost out there. Alexa says, writing is the same. I'm editing one novel while outlining another. Always working all the time. James Brock says, CH gets more douchey all the time. I was really tempted. I watched Kerry Holzman for the first time in a long time last night. And
I dropped straight off.
Kath fell asleep almost instantly. He was doing his $6,000 build in his Threadripper, was it 3850, I think it was? Because basically someone's told him what bits he needs to put together to actually make it work, whereas previously he just bought stuff and assumed that it would all work together happily. And then got pissed off with AMD when they didn't, because obviously Intel just works. But yeah, that's another story. So at which point he then started slagging off an open air case, which is made by Antec. Now Antec, I like Antec cases. I like Antec as a brand, but then he's basically slated them for him buying a $400 case because it was an open design, one of those kind of art installation type PCs, and then moaning because there's no cable management. It's like, well, you bought it, you absolute cock. Why did you not buy one with cable management if you want cable management? If you don't want cable management, buy an art PC. If you want cable management, buy a Corsair or an off-the-box thing. Don't buy a $400 art installation case, because you're not going to have cable management in that, obviously. It's designed for modders, not people who build basically workstations all day long. Anyway, so yeah, I was I was watching it and going through it and thinking, I actually feel quite sorry for him because he gets really upset about the whole situation.
Do you need another beer?
I probably do actually, yeah. And yeah, he's sorry, just joking on James Miscellaneous's comment there, which is not being shown because it has a word in it that possibly shouldn't be in there. Oh no, there we go. Yes, he's very much stuck in his own little world, and I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I think a lot of people kind of rely on him.
James.
Yeah, James is obviously in his own world. Thank you. Cheers, everybody.
Oh, amazing wants some.
There's a lot of people that follow him religiously like a cult, and every single word they kind of hang on, and that's a little bit scary because he doesn't really. I don't know. He has a lot of experience. Don't get me wrong. He's had 30 odd years in business allegedly, So, yeah, he's obviously learned a few things along the way. But he isn't that knowledgeable. And you see him putting stuff together and he's like, right, okay, let's get the manual out. I shouldn't have to do this. It's like, well, no, you shouldn't. You should have obviously researched the product before you're using it. But then to blame a bad design because you can't work out how it goes together without fishing out an instruction manual is a little bit kind of up your own ass. Yes, Kath?
I asked Stuart, what's the rough price for a door?
Yeah.
PVC or composite?
PVC.
Two colour.
Dual colour. Send him a picture on bloody Instagram, on Messenger.
I haven't got Messenger.
You have?
I haven't, I've got rid of it. Unless I go on the computer.
Mm.
Got rid of all that big tech crap.
James Messina says, disclaimer, no one really has anything against CH and no one wishes ill upon him. It's just a difference of views, really. Yes. Mitch says, I know Kerry probably over 10 years. I met him once in person. I would quite like to meet him. I think I really would like to meet him. It would be a very interesting conversation. Because we have, even though he's, I think he must be a bit older than me, but we've probably been in the IT field probably a similar sort of time. He's probably been in it more consistently than I have because I dipped out for a few years. Well, quite a few years, but anyway. Yeah, we've got a similar kind of background. But yeah, I would definitely like to meet him. I'd like to be on the set with him, helping him build a PC.
Would you drink Pepsi or Coke?
I'd definitely drink Pepsi, just to balance out the equation. But yeah, I think he's he does get a little bit too angry and a little bit too expectational.
Who's Barry from Eggheads?
Mitch says he's very short. I can tell you that. Lol, I can take Kerry with a grain of salt. Yeah. James Brock says Kerry Hosman worked for Newegg at one time. I did hear the story about that from one of the other people that used to do a podcast with Kerry many years ago. And yeah, there's an interesting story behind that. Captain Meets Adventure says, Mike, would you have a computer parts based dance off against him? Hell yeah. James says, James Brock, it's the truth though. No one has any real venom with the guy. Most of the attacks are in his head. Yeah. Irie Wolfman says, Kerry Holzman wanted to work for Linus. He said no. I think that kind of come to a head when there was something that happened ages ago. And I remember there was a video that was taken down or something because of that. And it was something to do with Linus. And he did like some live update outside in his Jeep or his van or whatever it was. He was getting quite upset about it. Patrick LaBelle says, I sometimes watch Kerry. He turned me blue in his chat because I helped someone with his AMD system. Well, that's cool. My biggest gripe is, like, I've got quite a lot of knowledge I've picked up over the years, and there's some things that I know which possibly he doesn't, and definitely vice versa. That is 100% true. So, like, when you go into a chat, and I've actually been banned from Kerry's chat because he was doing something which was, to me, obviously wrong, and I kept on saying it in the chat. It's like, no, this is not how you do it. This is not going to work. And it got to the point where it almost become like a battle with Kerry's kind of blue spanner brigade. No, Kerry knows what he's doing. He's been doing this a lot longer than you have. It's like, well, you don't even know who I am for a start. So to make that assumption is obviously like, why are you shielding this guy from what is potentially me offering some advice which could save him looking like a jackass on a stream? just trying to help, but they all gang up on you, and it's like, when you have that kind of crowd around you, like shielding you, that's probably why he gets so angry and paranoid about things, because he's so shielded that it actually pisses people off. I got pissed off with it. It's like, Ashley, like, why are you doing this? And it makes you want to fight it more, because people are kind of, no, you can't have an opinion. Kerry knows what he's doing. It's like, well, yeah, he might do. But in this particular case, clearly he doesn't. I'm watching the same stream as you. He's making a complete ass of this particular system. I'm offering help. You guys think I'm trolling. Just telling the guy, trying to help someone out. I'm a fellow IT person. I can see when someone's struggling. I'm trying to help.
Ugly Bob said, to be fair, they would probably do that to him if he came here.
I don't know if they would though. I think most people, if I was doing a live stream, I would like to think that if I was doing a live stream build and I was doing something which was obviously wrong, and people were coming in,
like not putting
other YouTubers perhaps who had their own channels were offering suggestions saying, well, no, try this, or you're doing this is going to go wrong because of, I would hope that then the other moderators would be like, Mike, look at such and such a suggestion. And I'll be like, oh, right, cool, brilliant, thanks for helping out. I really appreciate that. That's saved me some time. Rather than just blindly going through, getting it wrong, and then getting to the end and going, oh, yeah, maybe if I'd have done that earlier, this would have worked out better. It's just, yeah, it just seems very bizarre. It's almost cult-like, and that really bothers me. And I actually, whenever I go on the streams, I'm still banned from the chat, but I still go in there just to see what goes on. And you see it happen to loads of people. Like, people are getting in there, they're all cool, maybe throwing a couple of super chats in, getting their blue badge, etc., etc. Then all of a sudden they have a disagreement with somebody, one of the mods, or with something that Kerry said, or they disagree in some way, shape, or form. And it's like, next thing you know, they're banned as well. Or, oh, this guy's making trouble. It's like, well, no, just people have got opinions. The whole world at the moment is divided 50-50 over everything. So you can expect the same thing to happen in a live stream or a conversation, especially when technology is involved, because it does bring out the best and worst in people. So to just be banned as soon as you get a difference in opinion, that's just, yeah, it just seems like little mini Nazis everywhere, and it pisses me off. And people will quite often put me right and say, oh, you've done this wrong or whatever. So, yeah, fine, okay. I'm confident enough in my own abilities to say that I don't know everything, rather than trying to pretend I do.
Can't even clip a fan on a cooler.
Yeah, I struggle to put Arctic cooler fans on, come on. I am an idiot. But I'll quite happily take advice if someone says, oh, try and do this, Mike. It's like, oh, cool, yeah, I'll do that. Mitch Hammond says, Captain Meets Adventures, I'll go to that one first of all. Mike, do you live under a bridge and scare goats? No, I'm not trolling, not deliberately. Sometimes it does feel like some things need calling out. And we're a free, allegedly free society, so we should be able to have our own opinions. And also, I would appreciate if people did have their own opinions that they would tell me. Be open about it. Don't just. I would hate to think that anyone can get into it. Well, I know it happens in kind of celebrity land, where people get shielded from the truth, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that new outfit looks great. You should definitely go out wearing that." And then you see them the next day in the TV or whatever, and they've gone to an award ceremony dressed in bacon. At which point in your career does it get to the point where you can dress up in meat products, apart from obviously Captain Meat, because that is his thing, but other than Captain Meat, how do you get to such a point in your career where you can go out dressed in basically dead animal and your entire team, production team, are like, you go, girl. Anyway, ah dear. Mitch Hammond says, at James Pisanus, you know Brightecho 9? He's not a fan of Kerry for sure. Lol. Well, Kerry and Brightech used to be really good mates, and they used to do podcasts together many, many years ago. They were, they were basically two peas in a pod. Ah dear. Mitch says, you're not going to ship the cat, are you? I see her in a box. She's actually got a little bit closer to it now, so come on, put your ear in. Come on, because the postman will see that. Come on, going in the box. This is unboxing channel. You gonna go sleep? Good night. It's so docile.
Docile.
Docile, that's an American term, wasn't it? Oh, you got itchy now. Where is it there? Now better? We good? We good? Yeah? Okay. That's good.
That's still good.
Ugly Bob says, I need to get myself banned from his channel. Feels like I'm missing out here. It's easy to do, just have an opinion. Or at least one that differs from his. Or the Blue Spanner Brigade. Commentaries with Cash says, what's a good PC for beginners? Yeah, that is a good question. That's a very good question. Actually, I think I've just realised who Mitch is. I think. Mitch Hammond. That rings a bell. Did you hear that, everybody? That was the sound of a penny dropping. Mitch Have you actually been on streams with him? Or am I thinking of the other? There's a Mitch who goes on the streams with him building PCs, isn't there? Mitch Hammond. You have to see the pictures now. Sorry, I'm on your channel now. Collaboration with Daniel Horsley. Oh, I don't think I can see you. Heyman. Heyman, sorry. Do apologise. Can't see if there's pictures of you. Videos. Come on, where's a picture? Don and Mitch. I know, it's not who I was thinking of. I don't think. No. Maybe. No, I don't think it is. I digress. Thank you for the super chat, whoever that was. I was too busy looking at someone else's YouTube channel. Bob says, bacon pants. Rory O'Donnell, €10, says, hey, Mick, can you say hi to my daughter? Carabao? Is that Carabao or Carabao? Either way, Carabao or Carabao. Hi, how you doing? Kath says hi too. And Maisie does. Maisie, wake up. Say hello. Say hello to Cara.
Say hello.
No, simply not interested. You've been very ignorant today, aren't you? Can you say hello to the good people? They're taking time out of their Saturdays to watch you, and you're sleeping. Simply not interested. James Brock says, Mitch, do you like the band Toto? Come on, everyone likes Toto. Is there anybody that doesn't like Toto? I don't think so.
You could put an RGB
Mark,
thing around her.
Mark MC says, Kerry gets mad at other people's opinions. He likes everyone to think he's... Oh, it's gone too far. Think he's in control and gets angry when you question him. I have a blue wrench, but I never comment. Price factor aside, Z490 or Z590 for Rocket Lake? 590. Because forward proofing? Forward proofing, is that even a thing? future-proofing and forward-looking. I put both of those together and made a new thing. Yeah, Z590 is pretty much where it's at. Shara says, how are you getting on with the TechWare VXR case? It's behind me at the moment. I want the Lian Li 011, but it seems to be sold everywhere, so it seems to be a good plan B. Yeah, I really like it. The only thing that disappoints me, I would say, if I'm being brutally honest, which I generally tend to be, because why not? It really should have come with a vertical GPU mount as standard. I think that would have been a much, much better option. There is quite a close tolerance on the side panel. Even with a smallish card in there, it is quite close. So I would say the vertical GPU mount kit is essential for most people. Lengthwise, you've got no issues at all, but the actual width of the card could become a little bit of a possible kind of deal breaker, or leave the glass off, which then destroys the whole look of it. But overall, I actually really like it, and I haven't found another case yet which I would prefer to have in this position. So that's saying something, because quite often the cases that go up here do end up staying up there for a long time. We had the InWin 101C, which was up there for a long time. We also had the 103, again from InWin. Both of those really nice cases. The Colink Citadel, that was there for a long time. That was a really nice case. What else have we had up there? The Thermaltake S300, I think. The InWin A1 as well. Oh yeah, the Sharkoon upside down case, which I can't ever remember the name of. The Sharkoon Night Shark, that was really good as well. What else we had on there?
GameMax?
I don't think we had a GameMax case up there. I think GameMax is probably one of the few cases that has not made it up there. Normally well, that's in Kaf's computer now. Anyway, yeah, so the VXR, definitely worth getting. Ugly Bob says, Toto is freaking awesome, yeah. I always use Toto for when I'm testing speakers and headsets. Toto Hold the Line Classic. Oh yes. I've got that going through my head now. You swine. Wildlife Snapper 1 says, if you're selling the cat after a review of it, then I'll take it off your hands as long as it's a favourable review.
It would be.
Malcolm says, is it possible to review some budget DAC dongles, e.g. AliExpress specials? No, is the easy answer. Anything I order at the moment from AliExpress isn't.
We've had one item come through.
Yeah, one of the items we've ordered has come through. Every single other one has had to be either refunded or put a claim in against. So, not sure what's going on there. I am starting to lose my faith. Irie Wolfman says Sharkoon Rev 220, that was the one. Sky Stalker, super chat for $20.99 of your Canadian cents. Says, my contribution to Kath and Mike's Tech Beer Sanity Fund. Thanks, Sky, appreciate it. Mitch says, I have to tell you this, I have X570 Asus Tough Gaming Wi-Fi. Same as me, mate. Built 11th 2019, always had problems running RAM at 3200. Finally, Asus had like Ace BIOS updates. Do you know what? As soon as I changed RAM from... I'm trying to think what I had in there.
Corsair.
Probably was Corsair, actually. Yeah, I think I had some Corsair RAM in there. As soon as I put my V-Color RAM in there, the DDR4 3600, straight away, XMP works like an absolute charm. Brilliant RAM. I know I say it a lot, and they have sent me RAM in the past for review. I'm totally upfront about that. But I said earlier in the review, and actually if you looked at my Amazon shopping history, which obviously you can't, but if you want to with a Freedom of Information request, you probably could do. But you can see I do buy V-Color RAM. It's not I'm just saying it like, oh yeah, let's buy V-Color RAM because they've sent me a t-shirt once. No, it's good stuff and it works and it's reliable. And I wish you could get it easier in the UK because I certainly would buy more of it. Blake says, who you're talking about? Heard the name Kerry. Is it Kerry Holzman? I searched YouTube and it came up. It does, yes. Mitch says, I've not had a problem in 2 months since putting all those BIOS updates in. Quite often it is the BIOS updates which actually make it much better. The Trojan says, January, February is a very bad time to order from China. Yeah, it is. It does seem that way.
Yeah, because one was early December, wasn't it? And the other one was later December.
Yeah, one...
And then Brexit kicked in, so whether it's anything to do with that.
I did order some graphics cards recently from a seller which had ridiculously bad low feedback, and they were offering very, very cheap cards, which are used, but very, very cheap, and I was like, well, what the hell, I'll try it. So, yeah, waiting for a refund on that. Or you never know, the cards might turn up in a few years' time. Irie Wolfman says, I bought 2 pairs of Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro, anniversary on the 24th of March, 9 years. Congratulations. Instead of buying an overpriced GPU. That's fair. Yes, the Chinese New Year, I think, at the moment, where we've been with, obviously, we've had Brexit, we've had COVID, we've had Chinese New Year, we've had the export prices going through the absolute roof as well, import and export prices for that matter. It's just, everything's just getting ridiculous, and it's getting to a point where it's almost got to the point of where we're going to be back in the kind of late 70s, early 80s, where manufacturing is going to start happening in the individual countries again. I know America have gone big on that recently. Obviously China, basically, because they could do everything a lot cheaper because of one reason or another. Not getting into the political aspects of it, but they were relied upon because you could buy stuff from China, sell it for a markup, and still sell it for a relatively good price. Whereas if we can't get hold of stuff from China, or basically overseas, then we will have to get to the point where, you never know, for us Englanders, we may actually see companies like Acorn and BBC Micro and Amstrad and Sinclair and stuff like that. We may start seeing companies like that becoming to rise like a phoenix from the ashes, which I think would be really good. It'd be really nice to see some UK manufacturers getting into production, making graphics cards, making SSDs, making RAM modules. Obviously, ARM is an English company, effectively. So if it wasn't for the fact they sold to NVIDIA, that could have been a good thing waiting to happen. But there's tons of UK companies that do research and development. All it takes is someone to invest, and I think there could be some really good stuff coming out of the UK, which would be great because there'd be no export charges, and we would probably get it for roughly the same price as we'd get from importing some of the less well-made stuff, potentially, from overseas. Wouldn't that be cool? BIOS updates, they make it or break it. Yeah, there was actually a BIOS update for the Acer Aspire, the A515-43, which I'm using here. And it basically killed the system so that Windows takes 5 minutes to boot every time. So if you ever have to do anything, make sure you know 5 minutes in advance. It's quite handy actually, because you can turn it on, go in the kitchen, start making a drink, and by the time the kettle's boiled and you've made your drink, you walk back in, it's like, oh, login screen, excellent. It's like being in the 80s again. Ivory Wolfman says at least BIOS aren't made by CD Projekt Red. Yeah, that would be interesting. And they'd be leaked.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah. James Brock. Right, that's this is 11 o'clock. I can't believe how late it's getting. I didn't realise it was that late. So I think that's going to pretty much wrap this one up. Thank you guys for bearing with us. It's been one of those kind of slow news weeks, really. Not a lot is happening in the tech world. I think we should all just take a summer holiday. Although we probably need some summer for that to happen.
Well, that's not been too bad.
Has been getting nicer, so we will be doing some more outside stuff. and hopefully even be able to film some B-roll out in the garden. Which is ironic because this time last year I filmed the B-roll for the Zotac 1650 Super actually out in the back garden just before everything went a little bit crazy. So yeah, a year on, and we're going to repeat it with the 3060 Ti, hopefully, if it doesn't rain, which it might do. So for those of you that want to have a chat in the after show Discord, feel free to join us. The chat is open for anyone. Go into the room marked after show stream or after show party or whatever, and you're more than welcome. Don't forget to click on the emoticon, Kath said, in the rules section. Yeah, if you can't get into the Discord, you have to click on the emoticon in the rules section for the rest of the rooms to open up to you. So yeah, otherwise you'll just end up being able to message me and Kath knows nothing about IT, and I'm a very busy man. So click on the rules icon and you'll get all the rooms open to you, and you can join us. So thanks all for the super chats. Really do appreciate that. Help the channel going. And don't forget, if you want to get a Mike's Unboxing t-shirt or a Mike's Unboxing pen or a Mike's Unboxing hoodie, you can go over to Patreon or actually on our Discord. We've got a store in our Discord as well, so you can buy stuff in there, and it all goes towards helping out the channel. Awesome stuff. Yeah, I think that is going to be pretty much it. So we will catch you in the next one. If you've got any comments or questions or anything you want to see reviewed on the channel, don't forget, drop me an email. Sorry, Maisie. Mike at Mike's Unboxing. Drop me an email, let me know what it is you want reviewed, and I will try and do it for you. That is if the item is available in stock and is actually something which is pretty cool. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Ta-da!